This is News 6 Tonight.
Hello, everyone.
Yo.
Good Tuesday evening, and welcome to News 6 Tonight, the Tuesday edition. The week is just rolling along here in Central Florida. Things are happening. Things are going to happen. We're going to talk about the weather tonight with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas, because things are going to really start to take a turn. And it's going to be cold.
You might be waking up to 35
and that's, we're
in
not
Orlando.
exaggerating. We're not even exaggerating. Those are real temps. Thank you so much for making a little bit of time in your night to catch up on some of the day's big stories. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
Matt Austin, glad to have you with us. We have Sue Lola joining us with
Hello.
her cat picture of her cat. Or maybe she is a cat. Maybe we have cats watching the show.
I would love if cats watched this show.
I'll tell you, we got the legislative session is officially in session.
I know you're trying to make this sound really good. It is an important thing that's happening.
I know, it's so hard to get people interested in the state legislative session, but it's so important. These
Just
are
tell me what you're doing.
These impact you way more than all the stuff that you're worried about on your favorite cable news show. So the next 60 days, lawmakers are going to pass some laws. Should be an interesting one, okay? So if this were a fight card, if this were like a big boxing fight card, the main event would have to be property taxes. That's what everybody's wondering about. No matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, everybody's impacted by this if you own a house. So there are 7 bills right now, 7 different ideas on how we could maybe get rid of property taxes and not bankrupt the whole state. So that's the big question they're wondering. And, Blaise Ngolia was just talking about this. He said, 7, this is too much. If you put, because basically what's going to happen is these aren't just going to become law. They're going to go on the ballot, and then people are going to vote. And if you get 60% for one of these, then boom, you get rid of property taxes.
You can't water it down like that. You got to.
7 ideas. People are never, you just have to come up, but nobody's willing to commit. Nobody's willing to say, even the governor, who's been like the champion of get rid of property taxes, has not really committed on an idea for how to actually do it.
Don't dangle that carrot.
They're dangling. They're dangling 7 carrots right now. So also protections for people against artificial intelligence.
That's an important
That's
one.
a very interesting thing, and something that I think both state and federal governments should be talking about. What's going to happen with these things?
And we've had some awful stories because there are basically no rules. There are lawsuits and things, and it's terrible.
Yeah, this is true. And the governor is very eager. We have a soundbite from the governor. Go ahead.
You should be able to own your home without paying perpetual rent to the government. The legislature has the ability to place a measure on the ballot to provide transformational relief for taxpayers. Let's resolve to all work together, get something done, and let the people have a say.
How's it going to look on the ballot?
Yeah.
We get it on the ballot, but we have 7 options, and he has not really weighed in, from what I have heard, on which of these bills he thinks should happen. And it's interesting because if you actually look at the bills, not a lot of people are reporting on this. One of the bills says okay, we'll get rid of property taxes, but local governments can charge a 5% tax on new home buys. So if you buy your house, pay an extra 5%, you spend $500,000 on a house, is that an extra $25,000 you pay that can be rolled into the mortgage? Okay, you don't have to pay property taxes anymore.
But you got to pay that.
Your house just got way more expensive. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. Also, they're going to be redrawing the congressional lines.
That's a biggie.
That's
a special session, though.
That's going to take place in April.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're waiting on Supreme Court decisions for that. But fascinating because the governor does not have the hold on the House and the Senate that he had a few years ago. In fact, it's a pretty contentious relationship right now. They'll both take little jabs at each other. And I don't know how it's going to work out or what's going to pass, but that'll make it interesting.
Yeah, that's worth watching for sure. It's all worth watching, but it's just the getting there. It's like everybody just wants, okay, what did you decide? They don't want to see. It's like what we say in the news business. You don't want to see the sausage made. You just want the news. But sometimes we don't even want to make the sausage. The sausage is messy.
It is. It can be a little gross.
But it gets made every single day. Hey, speaking of property taxes and property, how would you like to own the world's largest island?
I'd love to.
Okay.
That'd be great.
That's Greenland. And apparently...
Is it the world's largest island?
It's the world's largest island, not a continent.
Oh, I did not know. You're teaching me things.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I hope maybe you learned that too.
I guess I would think Australia, but you're right. That's a continent, not an island.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So one of our representatives, Randy Fine, has proposed something in the U.S. House, and it is really interesting. He's introduced a bill, and it's considered pretty controversial. He wants to annex, if you will, take Greenland and make it a part, the 51st state.
Right.
And we've heard this song and dance before. It's been thrown around kind of like, hey, what would happen if the United States made Greenland a part of the United States? And the people of Greenland are like, absolutely not. We want nothing to do with this. But Fine's office says that the Greenland Annexation and Statehood Act is aimed at improving national security in the Arctic. That's a big deal, too, because they want to get there before China, Russia, and those other countries that are doing things right now, and we think we're a little behind because there are valuable resources there. But no one can really own any part of the Arctic. You know, we kind of have to do it together. You can't be there and say, hey, listen, I know what's happening. But the bill cites key shipping lanes for protecting the U.S. The bill grants the president the authority to take whatever steps are necessary to acquire Greenland, including negotiating with Denmark. And again,
because Denmark kind of runs Greenland, basically.
Also, they're not called Denmarkians, but I just made that up.
Or Danes.
I know. They are not interested. They are.
Yeah.
They're like, we'll talk to you about it, but we absolutely do not want to be the 51st state. So that's one of those things that's been floated out there. And the likelihood of that happening, maybe a little, it's unlikely, but hey, you never know.
I think it's getting more likely. There are actually betting odds. I haven't checked recently,
oh,
but
boy.
you know,
do you have a problem now?
I don't gamble on things, but I did see.
It sounds like you are.
On the poly markets, it's will Greenland become a part of the United States before like 2027? They're betting odds for it right now.
It sounds like you have been thinking about it.
I have researched a little bit, like why are we doing this? You know, and when you actually look into it, it's kind of interesting. So as everybody is seeing the ice in the Arctic recede.
It's
right?
80% ice there. In
Yeah,
Greenland,
there's
by the
so
way.
much ice,
Yeah.
and it was never considered important. There was never shipping routes in play here, never a military possibility to try to break through all that ice. But the thing is, if you imagine, you know, the Earth as a globe, and the top, all of a sudden, if you could have shipping routes that go, you know, from Alaska over to Europe, and you didn't, you know,
it's like making a Panama canal without
that's
actually having to
what
build
it's like. Yes, yes, Gigi, and so it shortens by thousands of miles these shipping routes. So as far as businesses go, and China and Russia are already working on this with a passage themselves. It goes around Russia, and there's also this thing called the Northwest Passage that they could use for shipping, and it could mean trillions of dollars. There's also unlimited natural resources, they think, trillions possibly there in Greenland.
Here's an unpopular opinion. We're going to ruin it. We're going to ruin it.
I wouldn't put it past us.
Let the 56,000 people who live there, leave them alone. They've been fine without us, and they'll be fine moving forward.
We will see how it goes.
Oh,
but
yeah,
this
I don't get a
This
say.
definitely
I don't
seems
get
to
a
be escalating, I would say. All right, well, it has been 1 year since, oh man, we covered
awful
this.
story.
One of the tougher stories, I would say, of the last few years. There was this young boy, his name was Michael Millett. I think
He's
he was 8 years old.
Mhm.
And he was riding his bike in his
In his
neighborhood,
neighborhood.
having a good time. Two dogs come, they attack him, they kill him. A neighbor's, their dogs got out and they killed him right there in the road. So new law has been put into place.
Yeah.
This is a story we've been covering, and it has been 1 year now since this happened. And so our community correspondent, Molly Reed, went to go get us an update on the story.
On January 13th, 2025, 8-year-old Michael Millett was riding his bike in his neighborhood when two dogs ran out from a nearby property and attacked him. Michael's mother sending me this statement on the anniversary of her son's death. It says in part, Michael's laughter, his hugs, his life mattered. I speak today so the world doesn't forget him. If we act like the death of a child is normal, no one is safe. Investigators say it was tough to charge these two dog owners because there were no previous complaints against the dogs, even though after the attack, neighbors went to deputies and said these dogs got loose constantly and had even attacked and killed animals in their neighborhood. Law enforcement now says you need to report any issues you have with animals so that they can be investigated and then labeled dangerous if needed. Now, if a dog is labeled dangerous, a new state law supported by Michael's family increases penalties for owners if their dogs attack someone. Plus, Volusia County just passed a rule that requires owners of dangerous dogs to have $500,000 in insurance. The 16 dog owners in unincorporated Volusia County who are on the county's public list you see here have to register their dogs every year according to the date they were classified as dangerous. That registration includes showing the proof of insurance, and several owners have deadlines coming up in the next 2 months.
So the most interesting thing about that story is seeing why the women who owned the dogs were never really charged with anything other than tampering with evidence.
Yeah.
Is because apparently there was nothing documented that showed that the dogs were dangerous before this. It sounds like neighbors will tell you that it happened, but it was never actually in a police report.
Yeah, which is very, very sad. And, we have that list of what the dangerous dog list that Molly talked about. That's on clickorlando.com. But it's one of those things where you just have to be responsible. I know dogs are family members for people, but they belong to you. And you have to know exactly what they're doing. And if they are dangerous, then you got to keep them confined to where you are, and you have to be with them all the time. That little 8-year-old boy should still be here. And I can't even imagine how terrifying it must have been for him just on his bike, through his own neighborhood.
I'm sure hard for his family that nobody's really being held accountable for
this that's the tough part,
Not
which is
like
why
you would expect.
I like that they are continuing to speak out and not hide and just kind of, in his honor and in his memory, so no other child has to go through something like that.
Yeah, well, let's hope.
All right.
Yeah, I was going to do the same thing. You do it.
You do it. Okay,
right.
I'll do it.
I'm
Coming
waiting.
up after the break. It's a terrible story. It's one of those things that a lot of people like to take part of. It's a great activity, paragliding on the coast, and whoa, but if it goes wrong, man, it can go wrong. We have some cell phone video to show you after the break.
If I were a male, put your butt here.
Yeah, and he got the link from the show just a little while ago, I think. So we'll make sure we have that for News 6 tonight. Hey, thanks for stopping by. We know you're busy, but news doesn't stop, and neither do we.
That's right. And this is News 6 Tonight, where we leverage this entire busy newsroom with our community correspondents, our producers, our content desk, and then we filter through that. We have a casual conversation about the news that impacts Central Florida.
Yeah, we live here in the community, and we rely on you for our neighborhood network because you're our eyes and ears as well, and we can't do it without you.
So you can watch us all over the place, YouTube, News 6 Plus app, and clickorlando.com. While you're here, feel free to engage. Let us know who you are and where you're from.
Hey, welcome back to News 6 Tonight. We're just reliving some childhood memories. I understand one of my sisters is watching tonight. She will remember the Happy Rain show. That's what we were talking about. I was trying to get Matt to.
Sweet Vistella.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, good.
Thanks for
Y'all
watching.
always so polite. Good evening,
Good evening
Ginger
to
and Matt.
you.
Yeah. Okay.
I hear good things about her.
You should, because that's all I say about her.
I know.
There's nothing
This is
bad to
true.
say about her.
Yeah. There are some bad things to say about Ginger.
And this next story. I don't know if have you been paragliding?
Okay.
Because they're
I've done
different.
the kind where you're dragged behind a boat, which is not.
Not dragged.
Yeah, you're dragged behind a boat.
What are you in the air?
In the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. They hook you up,
Yeah.
and then you fly out the back of the
Okay,
boat.
but that's dragging means you're in the water.
All right.
Okay,
Sure.
so you're flying behind a boat.
Yes.
I've done that
You've
too.
done that one,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've done. That's
Which
the
I
only one I've
felt
done.
safe.
I felt pretty safe too. But this paragliding incident that happened in South Florida, man, it is crazy. We've got some video to show you exactly what we're talking about. Let's play.
Once I got out there and I saw that he was above water and not drowning and alive, I was so proud to just get out there and bring him back in, because it could be so much worse.
Okay, so we're talking about an area in Riviera Beach just north of Palm Beach. And there's the paraglider. He's about she about 500 feet up in the air. And then boom goes the dynamite. It is incredible when you look at how hard that person hit the water. I think I would pass out if I hit the water that hard. I don't know. And from 500 feet, it seems like a good distance.
It would
So,
be easy to get knocked out. coming down.
for sure.
But because they had that parachute, and it wasn't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a drop from
It wasn't like
500
they
feet.
were parachuting or skydiving.
Yes.
And the parachute didn't open,
It
and
was
then they hit the water.
keeping
yeah.
them from
so
hitting terminal
and a nearby
velocity.
snorkeler helped free the man from the line. So miraculously, the paraglider, we're told, only suffered a couple of cuts and scrapes. But what a scary thing, because you're just out there having a good time, and then you lose control, and the next thing you know, you're going down. You don't know how that's going to end.
Have you seen these things, though? They look like dangerous contraptions. You have, basically, this person had a backpack with a fan on it and a parachute.
No, you know the thing, that doesn't look dangerous to me, because if you have like some kind of device that can drive it, I feel like that's okay. The things I see when I go, like if we spend time on the beach, I like to go to Folly Beach when I'm home with my family.
And they're flying up the coastline.
Not even, but not even paragliders. They're like kiteboarding.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my, because I feel, you watch people and you start close to the shore, and the next thing you know, I'm like, how far out? Because you have no control. I mean, you do have control.
If you're good, you have control.
Okay, I wouldn't be good.
You don't need to go kiteboarding. This we can all agree on. That would be very bad for our station.
I've had some incidents that we won't talk about.
She's had some
But this
things.
guy's going to be okay, thank goodness.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad he's all right. Scary situation. Well, we do have an epic cold snap coming. I know we've been talking about this all day.
Yeah.
Friday, we could wake up in the 30s. Feels like in the 20s in some places up north. Let me tell you something. Oranges can't put Uggs on. Okay? They can't protect themselves.
Wow. Let me write that down.
Yeah, right. Take notes. Community correspondent Jana Mano-Halal checks in on some growers in the citrus industry.
For hundreds of years, oranges have gone hand in hand with the state of Florida. But behind the scenes, the citrus industry is working its way back from years of decline after the USDA released expected production numbers for the new year.
According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Florida itself is expected to produce 12 million boxes of oranges.
That's just for the 2025-2026 season. Industry leaders say while the numbers were lower than they'd like, they point to steady improvement. The reason? Innovative treatments, therapies, and disease-tolerant trees are making a real difference, according to the USDA. Showcase of Citrus in Claremont is working hard, trying to survive the decline. They have replanted hundreds of acres dedicated to just oranges and other forms of citrus. They are also using a new greenhouse for more sensitive citrus fruits to make sure they have the best chance of surviving. Representatives of the Grove tell me they're hopeful after seeing a few trees stay strong. For an industry that generates nearly $7 billion a year and supports tens of thousands of jobs, every season matters, and so does the weather.
Our News 6 weather team is tracking a cold snap coming right here to Central Florida. So what does that mean for this plant right here? Well, citrus farmers are relying on this type of irrigation system, which means water will come through this hose straight up this pole and cover the entire tree in water. Now, why is that better than letting the tree freeze? Well, The water itself will freeze over the plant and the fruit, protecting it. So when it melts, the tree, the fruit, and the flower are fine. In Claremont, I'm Jana Manahola, News 6.
Yeah, when I lived in Tampa, and strawberries were the big talk when I was there, and there's a place called Parksdale. And they would, on a night like what we're about to see coming up, they would turn on the sprinklers and they would spray all the strawberries. And when I first moved to Florida, it didn't make sense to me, but they get that hard coating around them, and it just protects them. So it makes complete sense that they would do that with other fruit and the citrus, especially the citrus industry. And I just learned tonight that they can't put on Uggs. Devastating.
I know.
But that weather is going to be.
Stick with me, kid. I'll teach you a few things.
Weather is going to be no jokes. And this is where we bring in the guy who can tell us how not funny this weather is going to be coming up. Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas. You've been warning us for the better part of a week now, saying it's coming, and it's almost here. Matt wasn't exaggerating when he said we could see lows in the 20s and 30s.
Yeah, I was going to say, he said wind chills. We're talking actual air temperatures. In the 20s.
That's what
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
We were okay. I thought that's
real
not feels like.
No, it's going to be crazy. We've got it at the coldest since 2022. So it's been a while since it's been this cold. It's going to be about a degree or two colder than where we've been this season, but it's wild. Let me show you the map right now. This is the kind of makings of it. It's charging up right now. This is just part of it where you have some of the observations south of the Hudson Bay, where it's 12 below in God's Lake up in Canada. Fort Severn is 6 degrees below zero. These are actual air temperatures. So that's kind of like the warmer part of the air mass. It's just starting to dislodge from the Arctic Circle. And again, by Thursday morning, we get the leading edge of that. And then by Friday morning, it is here. And we're talking about those air temperatures again, 20 to 30, 20 degrees to 30 degrees. Northwest of I-4 has the best shot to do that, to get into the 20s. And with all likelihood, it will. That's where I'm concerned about the pipes. Normally, we're all right with the pipes. But if you're watching in Marion County, northern Sumter County, maybe extreme interior Flagler County, you might want to leave that at a slow drip or start to get some of that insulation on the exposed pipes, because we should be below freezing for about 5 to 6 hours. And that'll do some damage for sure if that water freezes.
Okay, and this is just the first cold front. You say they're sort of lining up on us. Is another one coming at some point, or what's the story?
It is, yeah. On Sunday into Monday, or Saturday into Sunday, the coldest of the bunch is gonna be Monday. It should be a couple degrees warmer. I mean, it's all relative. We're still gonna be in the 20s and 30s, but it should be a couple degrees warmer for this one. So these two are the big bad fronts. The little guy was the one we had, yesterday morning, I guess? It all bleeds together.
Yeah.
So, yeah, these ones mean business.
Listen, we're going to remember how cold it is. And the thing is, you're going to need your heavy jackets is what you're talking about. So now's the time to take it from the back of the closet or whatever chest you have them buried in, because you probably haven't had these heavy jackets out in a few years.
I got my hoodie out today. I'm ready.
No, you're not ready with a hoodie, sir. You're just not ready. That's your base layer.
I have to be skiing to go more than a hoodie. That's how.
Wow. What a real man you are.
Let's document this and let's have a conversation come Monday.
It's just because
I will be watching.
Okay.
I want to see him walk in the building with just a hoodie on.
If there's anything more than a hoodie, you will hear it right here.
Report back. All right.
We're going to have pictures. Jonathan, thank you. We'll see you again at 9:30, sir.
Appreciate you. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with a cool shark rescue. Such a Florida story. And I'm glad it happened. We'll be right back.
Welcome to News 6 Tonight. We are so thankful that you're joining us here wherever you found us.
Yeah, you know what this tells me? If you have made this your new streaming destination, it tells me you're smart. Also good looking, because you chose to watch the news in a different way. That makes you really smart. Anybody can give you the news from a teleprompter or an old newspaper. We do it in a fresh new way.
That's right. So check us out wherever you like to stream. We have this app for your TV, News 6 Plus. You can find it on Roku and Amazon and whatever your smart TV is cooking. So thank you. We would love to hear your comments down below.
Gosh. Yeah.
And then we'll show them.
Yeah, we will. News 6 Plus. The plus is you.
Ooh.
We all love a good rescue story, and especially if it's an animal rescue story. This one happened in Manatee County, and Sheriff's Office posted some video that we're allowed to use. So let's show you exactly what happened here. Marine deputies patrolling waters off a public beach saw a shark struggling after the poor little thing was caught in a crab trap. I mean, okay,
It's a big thing,
I know, but I feel bad for it. It was hooked by someone fishing on the beach, and that line wrapped around the buoy line, right, that holds the trap. Crews came out to help free the shark. They noticed the shark had 3 or 4 hooks in its mouth from previous run-ins. That's the part that just breaks my heart. This thing is out there just trying to live its life, and it's got all these different hooks of people casting their lines. FWC says if you catch a shark, when you cut the line, try to cut as close to the hook in the mouth as, I know you don't want to get near that, but cut to it, close to it as possible, or this is what you're going to end up with. But thank goodness they saw this thing struggling and they were able to rescue it and free it.
No, I think this is a good story because if you're out fishing in Florida, you will catch a shark at some point.
Of course.
And people get freaked out when they see the sharks, and they'll break the line, or they'll just cut it and stay far away. But so what happened was this line was too long, and when the shark swam around this buoy, it got caught.
Tangled.
Because they can handle some hooks in their jaw, and they can live and whatever. I'm sure it's uncomfortable, but
I like how we speak for the animals. It's like they can handle this.
Well,
I mean,
they can live through it. At least we know that. He had 3 or 4 of them in his jaw there, but they won't live getting stuck on a buoy or a fishing net or something like that. So just something good to keep in mind. If you are a fisher, you should snip it a little closer to the mouth there so they don't get caught.
But great job, Manatee County people. We love when that happens. All right. Hey, thank you so much for joining us for News 6 tonight. We appreciate you making time for us because we know you're busy.
Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.